Yeah, it's strange. It says it's loaded in the transfer window, but it's not actually loading. That's strange. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's good. For me. Hey, this map looks cool.
I have that assets in transit thing up, and it's... Oh, there it is.
There we go. Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, this place is
You
cool.
know, Lucas hates it, but I like it.
Reminds me of,
Oh,
I like the space macaroni.
the space macaroni?
Yeah.
It does look like space macaroni if you zoom out now.
Okay, so... Wow. Zid is going to try to open the door.
Okay, you go over to the door, and before you can touch the handle, it opens up for you.
Is this Kraft Macaroni and Cheese Tower?
Okay, what does Zid see?
Well, you look inside, and... Well, you can step inside. You step inside, and sitting at a desk... This part of the floor is elevated, by the way, about 5 feet. There's a sofa here, possibly for guests. It's very bright green. There's a green carpet here. Green carpet in here, too. Lots of green stuff everywhere. And sitting at this desk is the fattest tiefling you have ever seen. Currently busy writing away in a book.
Zid is automatically on guard. He does not like the tiefling at all whatsoever.
I will admit it's kind of unsettling. What's that symbol next to him?
That's the flying symbol. You notice that he seems to be kind of moving up and down, just slightly.
Okay. Well, yeah, I would say that I've never really seen anything like that before.
Lucas doesn't find it too threatening, but to get his attention, he places the bottom of the haft of his axe against the ground with a slight thud.
He looks up and says, "Ah, welcome. Welcome. I trust you are here about the job commission?"
You would be correct. I'm a little confused, however. You must do some explaining as to why your tower seems to occupy another space entirely.
This is my astral seed. It is preventing too many people from intruding. I like my privacy, you see.
Zid asks him what's with the snake and can he kill it.
Do not be worrying about Utrecht. He only bites when people get close.
Yes, we'll be sure to keep our distance. But he seems to be in the way of the path. How are we supposed to return the box to you?
That is not a problem. Show me the box.
Manu does take the box out.
He casts
And he
mage.
holds that in front
He
of
casts mage hand and takes it from you.
Don't really, get up out of that seat of yours very often, do you?
No, not really. And then he moves away from the desk. And you notice he seems to be sitting in some kind of weird hovering chair. In fact, let me post an image in the chat so that everybody can see what he looks like in full.
Alright. Fair enough. Fair
Is that
enough.
a Yu-Gi-Oh card?
That's what it looks like.
Pay no attention to the color scheme choice.
My only thought is how the hell does that fucking
Apparently
work?
Nord wants to duel. Sweet.
What was that, Legredo?
Out of game. My thought was, how the fuck is that chair holding him?
It's magic.
Yes,
Just
but
based off the rest of this photo, based off the heart of the cards. That's how it's doing it.
yes, well, he hovers over, looking over the case, says, and how many of you have been touching it?
It was me and my friend Zid here. We're the only ones to touch it.
Yes, well, if you are wanting the second half of your reward, I am going to need all of you to touch it.
Well, I don't think it's a very good idea to do something without more information given.
Of course, of course. Forgive me, I do not interact socially very often.
I can tell you haven't even given us your name.
My manners are very poor. I am Madislak Domini, the greatest wizard in all Faerun! Yes, well,
Never heard of you.
never heard of me. Well, that is unfortunate. But you most definitely have heard of my mentor,
And Manu kind of waves his arm a bit, and that would be.
Vauxius, the great wizard tiefling.
Have I heard of that?
You
Out of
must have.
character?
You must have.
Out
It
of-
just came from his tomb.
Ah, the statue. Yes. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, Vauxius was my master. He passed on a long, long time ago when I was still his apprentice. It is unfortunate. This case, you see, this case is a small part of one of his greatest inventions. And I foolishly lost the rest of it.
Zid wants to know what the invention is.
Are you familiar with certain magic items that resemble decks of cards?
I've heard
Ma-
of them.
Manu just shrugs.
Yes, well, my master wanted to recreate a similar magic item, but make it more powerful than ever. One with none of the drawbacks. No randomness involved. A deck of amazing power. He called it the Deck of Demons. But, as you can see, the case that held them all is empty. All of the cards are gone.
And what exactly does that mean for us?
Well, I kind of know what happened to the cards. It was my mistake. Many, many years ago, while I was traveling on an airship, the cards escaped my grasp. On an airship.
So Zid just comments, so you're too weak to hold on to your master's items.
I know what you're implying. And I do not appreciate it.
Zid continues and says he is implying that he's a bumbling idiot who needs to be a little bit better about what he does with his master's belongings.
Well, this bumbling idiot was going to offer you treasure and power and knowledge and wisdom beyond your wildest imagination. But if you want, you can kindly turn around and keep walking until you are no longer capable of doing so.
Sparrow immediately chimes in and says he's not associated with Zed.
Zid replies to that comment and says, I very much doubt your master's as powerful as mine.
Oh, a warlock, are we? Then no. No, I do not believe he was.
Well, I mean, at least his master was, aware of his presence, unlike yours.
Zid looks at Manu and says, my master is aware of my presence. He's the reason I'm here today.
I thought most of you warlock folks usually just stole the power from your patrons.
Zid explains that he didn't steal his power. He was offered the power to save his life and serve.
Well, then I suppose I will have to retract that statement. Either way, I'm sure you understand at this point that Zid here is not very good with speech either. What is it you wanted to offer us?
Well, here is my proposition. First, I need all of you to touch the card case. Until you have done so, I cannot give you more information.
So, some sort of pact thing? Fair enough.
It's not really a pact, nor is it a contract. It's actually meant to protect you from the cards.
That seems pretty reasonable then.
Zid speaks up and asks, well, what if touching this case makes it where we're the ones affected by the cards if you use them on us?
Excuse me?
Yeah,
What if
that
we?
didn't make much
What if,
sense.
what if it's like a trap where he can use the card's power directly on us? Like maybe that's how. We don't know exactly how this deck works.
I
Well,
am currently touching the case myself. And it is because I have touched the case that I am immune to the card's powers as well. I would go out and reclaim them myself, but as you can see, I am not in the most mobile of conditions.
Manu, just for the sake of Zid's, sanity, will attempt to look over his actions, his mannerisms, and what he said, and see if he can determine if he's lying or anything like that. Okay?
The wisest / most charismatic out of all of you can determine that everything that he has said so far has been true.
Okay.
Fuck, that's me. Is
I mean, I'm pretty good too. I mean, I think we're pretty much equal on that ground.
Well, one of the wisest is currently standing outside. Keith, do you want me to move your token in?
Yeah, go right ahead, BJ.
Okay.
Well, I do let him know anyway that I also do not see any sort of problems with what he's saying. So, I'd say just calm down for a second, Zed. We'll handle this. All right?
Okay, so Madislak uses Mage Hand again to basically make the card case hover between all of you and request that all of you touch it with your bare hands.
Sparrow immediately touches it.
Well, it's not a crow hand, not a bear hand. Sorry, I'm done.
You can't tell, but I just facepalmed.
Okay.
And my character's answer is, I'm just a bounty hunter. I don't have time for this.
You will not be able to leave my astral seed until you have agreed to do this for me.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's kidnapping now.
Perhaps, but I cannot have you leaving now that you know my location unless we are bound in some way or another.
Guys,
Zid speaks up and says, "Unless you have any type of power over us, correct?"
Hold on.
What do you want to say?
What did I say, Cosmo?
I need to go because Stu still isn't home, and he should have been, even if he worked a double today. So I'm gonna go just take a drive real quick and see if he couldn't get a ride. He's trying to walk home
Okay.
because it's starting to rain and lightning, and yeah, that's kind of dangerous. So it's only like 3 miles away at the most, so I'll be back pretty quick.
Okay. See you soon then.
Well, I'm going to assume that Kaze's character touches it, if he hasn't already. Seraph has already touched it. And I'm just going to assume that everyone else touches it as well.
No, I've been actually fighting this. I repeat, I'm a bounty hunter. What do I care about your problems?
Okay then. What is it that you want?
He pulls out the scroll and hands it to him.
He takes
Ooh,
this.
clever.
He takes the scroll from your hand and says, Do you need this scroll? May I borrow it?
You may copy it.
I do not have the spell prepared to copy it easily. I am very lazy.
We can see this.
Reread the handwriting. You know who wrote it.
Okay, Keith, you're gonna have to be more specific with your intentions, because I'm not familiar with everyone's backgrounds.
Okay. Out of character, the Supreme Ruler of the High Elves is who wrote that one. Giving that priority over everything else in the Elven world.
So it's an elvish thing. Okay. In that case, it might not.
Bound by blood magic.
It might not specifically be the character I was thinking of. It's not just any random old bounty.
If you read my thing, the origin is an escaped captive search of ultra high priority.
Okay. Well, try not to keep secrets out of character, okay?
I blame my phone. I tried telling you this beforehand, and my phone wasn't working properly.
Okay. Understandable then.
Okay.
My phone plus Skype don't work very well.
Well,
Again, Skype don't work very well.
Madislak tells you that he can prepare the divination spells needed to help you locate your bounty. Or, if you prefer, he can offer you a cash reward up to 10 times or more. Well, I suppose up to or more doesn't really make much sense. 10 times or more, like pretty much as much money as you want to complete this task. And the reason why he's willing to pay you so much, all of you for that matter, is because it is imperative that these cards not fall into the wrong hands.
Are you basically saying that we can make any request we want to you?
Yes.
For
Unless, of course, saving the world is reward enough.
Well, it's of that much importance?
It could be. It depends on who gets a hold of the cards. See, here is how it is working. Whenever you have not touched the card case, which is almost everybody,
I'm the last holdout.
if you are at least as large as the card and you touch it, the card disappears and infuses with your very soul. And it gives you a power based on the nature of your soul. And this power can be corrupting, depending on the kind of person that gets it. And as far as I know, the only way to extract the card is to kill the host.
How many cards are there?
Have you never seen a deck of playing cards?
I've seen decks of cards.
To the,
So,
to the untrained eye, they look like a regular deck of playing cards. Ace of Spades, Jack of Diamonds, you know the drill.
That is quite a large number of cards then.
Indeed, which is why I needed brave adventurers like yourself to prove themselves before I sent them on this harrowing task.
Zid speaks up and he wants to know who the first target is.
I do not know. I have one magic item that I have been preparing in order to search for the cards myself. And he holds up a thin sheet of cardboard with lots of colorful pictures drawn on it. It's all very symmetrical. This is a compass. It is a magic item of my own creation. You use it once per day, and it requires attunement. So once you've attuned to it, then you'll know exactly how it works. And he uses the mage hand to give it to Seraph, who takes it and starts attuning to it.
Well, I suppose before we can move any further, Allegretto, do you accept, or do you have some other request of him?
He smacks the box.
Great. Well, since you are going to smack it out of the air anyway, you might as well take it. It will be a good place to store the cards as you collect them.
Manuel will go ahead and pick up the case then. So, I assume then you're going to get that deviation finished for
Wait, what?
Allegretto. That divination? I assume you're going to get that divination. I assume you're going to get the divination finished for Allegretto then. How long will that take you?
Well, it depends on what he is wanting. Does he want the reward or does he want the bounty?
The bounty.
Yes. I will see what I can do. Until then, I do have one more item for you, for whoever wishes to carry it.
Oh god.
What is that noise?
Just some crumpling paper, that's all.
Anyway, he pulls out a couple of stones. Each one looks like a face with an open mouth.
Oh no.
These are sending stones. I give one to you, and I keep the other one. And once a day, we can cast the sending spell for free to talk to each other. If you have any questions about the cards or about your mission, feel free to contact me.
Can you
Zid
get...
offers for the sending stone if you want him to have it.
Why do you sound so downtrodden?
Well, I'm actually kind of saying that in character. Like Zid doesn't really want to work with Temlings.
Okay.
Tieflings.
Tiefling, yeah.
But yeah. But he's offering to do it. I mean, he's familiar with all kinds of magic, so he would understand how that works because he does talk to his patron.
Then sure, go ahead and take it.
Don't think of this as just a job with a reward. Think of it as an opportunity. You'll be able to travel all across Faerun, meet so many people, visit so many places.
Is it likely that these travels will run us into ghosts, perhaps?
Oh, given the commonness of ghosts, I see no reason not.
Then I have no reason to decline.
Alright, does anyone else need a motivation made up for them?
Sparrow just chimes in and says, as long as he's getting paid for this, he's good.
Oh, of course. You may keep any treasure you find during your travels. Minus the cards, I will be wanting those back, of course. And when you do finally return with the complete deck, then I will give you whatever rewards you desire.
This is an interesting question I want to bring up about these cards then. You said they attune to people's souls when they pick them up, and us holding this deck makes us immune to that. Are the cards just simply useless to us then, or can we still use the powers in them?
The card is useless unless you are infused with it. But if the host is killed, then the soul is retained in the card. The card will hold the soul and will be useless to anyone else who touches it. Which is why it is probably best if the hosts are killed. That way the card can no longer be used.
But what use are the cards to you then can you remove the soul somehow and give them use again, or what?
The souls will be trapped in the card when they are killed. It is,
So
it is unfortunate, but when you bring back the cards, I will attempt to remove the souls and free them. Then the cards will be normal again. And hopefully I won't lose them this time.
You'd better not, because I doubt you're ever going to find another group of adventurers that want to do something this foolhardy.
Oh no, I plan to seal the full deck of cards away where it can never be touched again.
I've heard that one before.
You have?
Well, Manu kind of just says it offhandedly. Stories of like ancient evils being sealed away never seems to go very well for anyone.
What makes you think this deck is evil?
Well, you say that it can corrupt people.
It can, but the cards don't do that. The power does. Any power can corrupt someone.
Then let me ask you this. What if we run into somebody who is using the cards and not using them for any evil or sorry, what's the word?
Maniacal?
Maniacal means. What? We're just expected to kill innocent people?
Well, if that person were to be killed by someone else, say someone wanting the power that they have, they could possibly find a way to extract the soul from the card themselves and then gain the power of the card.
So the answer to that question is yes.
It is best.
That's a bit hard to swallow, for me to say.
Okay, Zid has a question for the tiefling. What happens if we kill a host who is innocent, but then we resurrect them afterwards? Would the soul go from the card to the body?
I am afraid not. The soul would be trapped in the card and would be irremovable by normal means.
But you said that you might be able to remove it, right? If we bring it back to you, we could resurrect them?
I see no reason why not. I would have to fiddle with it for a bit. I have never been in possession of a soul-infused card. But given that my master was the card's creators, I should be able to find a way. If anyone can do it, I can.
Then I want you to tell me without a fraction of a doubt. If we return a card to you, can we bring someone back? And I'm asking for a yes or no answer there.
If you bring a card back to me, could you bring somebody back from the dead?
Well, I'm saying that, would you be able to extract the soul and allow that to happen? If you can guarantee you can do that, I will do this for you.
I can guarantee nothing. Like I said, I have never been in possession of a soul-infused card. I can only try.
Fair enough, then. I suppose we'll just have to try, then. Manu is finished. He has nothing else to say.
Does anyone else have any questions? I'll take that as a no. Okay. Then Midas Luck looks to you all and says, very well. Then, if you no longer have any questions, then you may begin your mission. You should be able to leave. As soon as you are all outside of my tower, you will return to your own plane.
Okay. Then I suppose we will get in touch with you once we find a card. Should we return here once we find one?
Oh no, there would be no point in coming back with just one. I would recommend getting all 52 before you return.
Manu does begin walking himself outside of the area then. This place is creeping him out anyway.
Zid walks outside with Manu, and he kind of whispers to Manu, if we have to get all 52 and it takes too long, we won't be able to resurrect anybody.
I understand that. That's why I think that coming back here would be a good choice when we at least have a few. The more time he has to work on it, the more he can work towards keeping that promise, okay?
Zid shrugs and says, alright, if you say so.
What's gotten in with you anyway? You're acting very distant.
I don't like tieflings.
I don't understand why that is, though. It's not as though that they're massively uncommon or intrinsically evil.
Actually, tieflings are intrinsically evil. It's just that most of them are able to resist it.
Well, that kind of means that they're not intrinsically evil, doesn't it?
No, it does mean that
They are genetically predisposed.
Yeah.
That's a better way of putting it, then. Okay.
Well, Sid goes on the other side of Manu and basically whispers so only he can hear. And he basically says, I've come from the Underdark. The tieflings are the reason I was there.
Okay. Then I won't hold that against you. I think it's best we got as far away from here as possible, then.
Is Lizzie leaving? And, yep, okay.
Yeah, we know Algard is having trouble moving, so I hope you don't mind I moved your token.
Well, I was going to
You're
have,
okay.
I was going to have Madaslak talk to him one more time before we left.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and hi, Elf. If you have any questions about the divinations regarding your bounty, feel free to have Manuel contact me.
Mm-hmm.
Why Manu?
Isn't he the one with the sending stone?
Yes.
Oh, I have-
Oh, no, yeah, you're
You
right.
have?
Yes, you're right. You have that. I have the deck. I have the deck box. I have the deck box. He has the divination stone.
Okay. In that
Sending
case,
stone.
you all step outside, the door closes, and you all reappear on the normal material plane. And when you do, the door just looks like another part of the wall.
All right then. Wait, who's carrying the compass? Oh yeah, it's Seraph, right?
Seraph is. Yep, and
It's
by
the
now,
thief.
hey, he handed it to me. I was closest to him. And besides, I've already finished the tuning to it. I already know exactly how this thing works.
Well, where do we go and what do we kill?
Well, here's how it works. When I use it, it points lights in the direction of the 3 closest cards. However, we can exclude cards if we need to from the search, and it doesn't work if the card is within 1,000 feet of us. That way it doesn't point to cards we already own.
Wouldn't that make more sense if it was cards within like 20 feet?
No, it's within 1,000 feet. That's just how the compass was made.
Ditch shakes his head and says, that idiot.
I will admit he does make some very strange decisions.
Well, she goes ahead and uses it, and it points in 3 directions. Since you're outside, I see no reason why you can't determine which directions are which. It points northwest and southeast, which are both directions that the high road leading out of Neverwinter goes, and it also points northeast toward the Neverwinter Wood.
Just recalling the general layout of the area around Neverwinter. So what are in those general directions then? We already said Neverwinter Wood, but what else for the other 2?
Well, the major cities that you would reach by following the high road, if you go northwest, you'll reach Luskan, which is a more kind of Arctic place. And if you head southeast, you'll reach Waterdeep, which is basically the capital of Alfaerun.
Well, it's probably best not to go there. There'd be too many people. It'd be too hard to find who we're looking for. Out of all those areas, which one, off my knowledge, is the least populated?
Well, it depends on how populated you think the Neverwinter Wood is.
Well, could you tell me what I think that is?
It's a forest.
So mostly just wildlife. Probably. Okay. Well, either way, Manu knows this isn't a decision just for him to make, so he does ask what everyone else thinks and what they think they should do.
Sparrow will agree with Manu about not going to Waterdeep just yet, way too many people. And he'll also mention that the less amount of people, the better.
Yes, I do agree. Do you have any knowledge of Neverwinter Wood? Do you
I don't know. Would I have any information on that? He mainly just like grew up in like city streets.
Yeah,
so
Kenku are mostly urban creatures. They don't spend much time in the wilderness.
Okay.
Then, no.
Allegretto might know then. He tends to be a foresty kind of person, right?
Well, he's a ranger, and his favorite terrain is forest.
Yeah. Are you familiar at all with the population of Neverwinter Wood?
Would I be, PJ?
Well, where do you live? Do you live near Neverwinter? Or are you, like, from the Feywild or something?
Technically, Feywild.
Okay, well, how long have you been in or near Neverwinter? Did you just get here?
6 months ago?
Okay. Well, I'll ask you this then. Have you ever passed through Neverwinter Wood?
I'm gonna say he has not.
I was going to also say I had not.
Yeah, but the Neverwinter Wood is huge. The longest distance from any point in that place is about 177 miles.
Then maybe it's best, since we're not sure of the population of Neverwinter Wood and it's so fucking large, we don't want to go to the capital. That only leaves us with one more option, right?
Yep, Luskan, the city to the northwest.
I do ask the entire group if that is acceptable.
Zid kind of looks down and shakes his head a little bit.
What's the problem?
Well, you say going to an overpopulated area would be bad, because it would be too hard to find this card. But
Yes.
do we know what the card does that's there?
We have no clue. As far as he said, it just simply has an effect based on the person's soul. I don't even know what that could mean.
So if someone evil would get a hold of that card, and they're in a heavily populated area, the longer we let that card be, the more damage they can cause.
That's very true.
But that's if the card is very powerful and dangerous. I mean, it could be something...
Mundane.
Yeah, it could be something that doesn't do much. But it's up to you guys.
Well, we'll just do a vote then. So I mean, I'm voting for that. What's the town called again?
The one to the northwest?
Yeah.
Luskan.
Okay, I vote Luskan. And what does everyone else vote?
I vote Luskan.
Zid votes for the heavily populated area.
Waterdeep.
Yeah, Waterdeep. What do you vote, Lizzie? You want to go to the overly populated? We don't know what the cards do, so we don't know how dangerous they are, or if anyone corrupt has them. So, Waterdeep's heavily populated. Neverwood, we have no clue. And then there's, what is it, Luskan?
Yeah.
Luskan, yes.
And is that overpopulated, or is it just like a ghost town?
It's a big city, but it's not as big or as populated as Waterdeep. Or Neverwinter, for that matter.
Okay, so Waterdeep is overpopulated. Luskan is smaller, not as populated, and we have no clue how many people are in Neverwinter. I mean, I would... Zid's going off of, he'd rather get where it's more populated just in case the card is dangerous, so anyone evil can't do as much damage. Okay, Lizzie wants to go with the one Zid voted for.
So that's
Okay.
2 for Luskan and 2 for Waterdeep. How about Allegretto?
Well, without Nick here,
You're the tiebreaker.
Great, I'm Mike Pence. That's a horrible fucking joke.
It is. It is horrible.
Both have merit.
Mm-hmm. Can't believe how big a deal this actual decision is. It's crazy.
I told you that's why I didn't want to end this session until you reached this decision.
Yeah.
He's gonna ask what Seraph's opinion is.
Seraph doesn't care where we go.
Of course. Because that would just...
You know why he has to say that.
Yeah.
Look, if Allegretto honestly can't decide, why don't you just have him get out a gold coin and flip it?
That's what I'm actually about to do.
Okay.
Heads for the city, tails for the Arctic.
Okay. So it looks like we're going to the city then?
I believe a 1 is heads.
Well, you
Okay.
didn't actually say which was what number.
Wait, so where are we going?
We're going to
No.
We're going to Waterdeep, right?
PJ, standard D&D rules. When flipping a coin, on a D2, 1 is heads, 2 is tails.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So yes, we're heading to Waterdeep.
Okay, then that is the road you guys will start taking. You'll need to prepare for the trip, but we'll worry about that when I'm explaining overworld travel rules in the next session.
Okay.
Well, I have one question then.
Yes?
How much experience are we at?
Okay, time to reward experience to everybody.
Alright.
Let me just...
I wonder if we got enough to level. Probably not with as many players as we have.
Well, no, the more people you have in the party... Oh, actually, no. You level up to the same speed no matter what, because the more people in the party, the higher the encounter CRs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's... I forget what the point range is.
Yeah, but also if you think about it, the multiplier for CR for having multiple people and having multiple mobs goes up too.
That's a good point, but I don't think that changes the encounter CR.
No, it
Just-
doesn't change the encounter CR. It just makes it where we get less experience for more mobs.
No, that's a good point. Because you don't get the encounter CR's experience, you just get the individual monster experience.
Yep.
Well, either way, there's 6 of everybody. Seraph doesn't take a cut of the experience ever. So
Yeah.
everybody should have exactly 150.
And that is half of what is necessary to level 2.
Yep.
You only had one
Okay.
dungeon. Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we did again. We went.
1
We
and a
got through.
half.
Technically, yeah, 1.5. But still, we got through 3 encounters. So not bad, actually. Not bad.
Actually, I have it written as 4 encounters. There's the
Okay.
there's the encounter outside with the watchtowers, the 2 goblins in the hallway
Yeah,
with the
just-
pressure plates.
The wolf spider.
Yeah, the wolf spider and the
Oh,
yeah, yep, 4 encounters.
What would have happened if the wolf spider actually succeeded?
You would have taken another 5 damage and would have been both poisoned and paralyzed for an hour.
Oh.
Mm.
Okay.
So you'd be unconscious, poisoned, and paralyzed. But the poison automatically stabilizes you, so you wouldn't have to make death saves.
Poison stabilizes you?
The wolf spider, if you fall to 0 as a result of the poison damage, you're stabilized, just unconscious.
Okay.
The spider wouldn't want to actually kill his meal.
yeah.
I suppose then it's we should bring in the question we always ask at the end of sessions. What did everyone think?
I haven't played in a long time, so this was super fun. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Cool.
And she learned exactly who the smartass of the group is.
There's always one.
Hi.
Yeah, and I know that was it brought up that you would be recording the entire sessions?
Yes,
Or not?
I've been doing it. I made sure everybody knew in advance and agreed to it.
Okay.
I'm also assuming that everybody has read my credo by now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Then what about you, Dan? What did you think?
I mean, I enjoyed it. My favorite part of the entire thing is that even though that we've never played, well, besides Nick and Tyler and Allegretto, well, Keith, we really haven't been players together in the same game, and I actually like how the teamwork is going.
Yeah, we usually do a pretty good job. Is there anything that you'd request from him to make the experience better for you?
More experience?
Well, thanks. Yeah, that's really helpful. Thanks. Okay.
Well, no, the only thing I really want to really mold my Warlock is I need to get level 4 as soon as possible, and then I am set. I don't give a shit how slow I level.
I would
Okay.
recommend more patience.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Danny, yes, we understand with you, patience is like my hairline, it doesn't exist.
yeah, true. But unlike your hairline, my patience has never existed.
And
The horrible thing, he's got a valid point. Aw, now I miss my hair. You son of a bitch.
And as for you, Keith, what about you? Did you enjoy it, and is there anything you'd want him to do to make it better for you?
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously I enjoyed it. Better?
But what do you mean better?
I can't think of anything that could make it better off the top of my head.
Oh, that's what you mean. You're like asking it as a question.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
It seems like you can't get anything off the top of your head these days.
Okay. Well, then that's great then. Yeah, and for me, same thing. Beach, great job, great introduction there. Really interesting. A lot of interesting things for us to do. Yeah, so that really worked out. Good job.
Okay, thank you. I wish Kaze was here. He tends to be the most critical.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, well, he actually, I can honestly say this with 100% satisfaction. He actually has been disappearing more than me.
Although I am still worried about the length of this entire adventure. I still am very uncertain if we're going to be able to finish it with how long you want it to be. That's what I'm worried about. You know?
What are you afraid of, Tyler? I mean, a good D&D campaign takes time. I mean, I've been playing the same one with my buddies for 5 years.
Look, I've been planning this campaign for half a year, ever since we first decided to start playing 5th edition. Look at it this way. What is the difference between A, playing the same 5th edition campaign forever that has like hundreds of adventures woven into it, and with PCs that will constantly be switched out as they die or retire, or B, playing multiple smaller campaigns?
I mean, there's benefits to the smaller campaign idea simply because if need be that a campaign ends and, you know, the players do wish to not continue for a little while, there's no big loss in just quitting for a while and coming back. When it's one huge elaborate thing, a huge elaborate adventure, it tends to be that you kind of have to stay with it constantly. There's less room for just taking time off.
Not really. The story in this campaign isn't half as complicated as Every Stars was, and that's because Every Stars story was very character-driven. You were required to remember all of the events that occurred. Not so much in this.
Well, like I said, you did the JoJo thing, okay? You did the JoJo thing, and it works. It works really well for storytelling because it's easy. It's easy, you know.
It's easy for me. It's easy for you. I mean, there will be recurring characters, but even if there were multiple campaigns, that would probably still happen anyway. So, you know.
But yeah, so that's the end then. We're all good.